anger point. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and welcome to Azure Television. I am your host, Azure. Now I am British, and like all good British people, I like the term free labour. And what better free labour is there than everyone's favourite employees, unpaid interns? And what better unpaid interns are there than our own beloved Pokemon, who work for the low cost of the power of friendship? Now then, we all like winning Pokemon battles, but anyone can melt an opponent with Kyogre's water spout while under Tailwind. This just gets boring. I however like to win by making ridiculous gimmicks and strats and cheesing my opponent into oblivion. Ah yes, magnificent. So I'd like to introduce you to Azure's Arena Stars, a rough guide into Pokemon double battle antics where I'll be showcasing strategies per episode. Now let us take a brief look at today's team, with Tauros being the primary focus. But before going into any details at length, let us first experience a battle so we can get a feel for the team and its shenanigans. And so ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into our first battle of today, where my opponent will be bringing out a Lycanroc and a Go-Goat, and on my team will be Tauros and Frostlass. So for the first round, Tauros will be attacking that Lycanroc with Trailblaze for some super effective damage, but more importantly gain a +1 speed. Now at this point, Frostlass will be attacking my own Tauros with Frost Breath. This will 100% crit, proccing Tauros' anchor point and raising his attack to +6, majestic. Now my opponent's Lycanroc has attempted to Stone Edge the Frostlass and missed, allowing Tauros to get off Trailblaze unhindered. This has mustered enough damage to KO the Lycanroc straight out, but more importantly given Tauros +1 speed. Now the opponent's Go-Goat has Horn Leech the Tauros, doing about 50% damage. Very respectable. So now my opponent will be bringing out their next Pokemon, which is an Altaria. Now Altaria's typing has me worried for my Tauros, so I will be terastallizing and throwing Rock Slide into both opponents. Now that Frostlass's major role has been completed, she will be disrupting the opponent with some support, in this case Will-O-the-Wisp against the Go-Goat. And there you can see the terastallization going off, and Brock coming out of the crowd to show some support for his beloved rock typing, and in this case is my Tauros. Now my opponent will also be terastallizing one of their Pokemon. What will it be? In this case it will be the Altaria into Fairy typing, and there you can see Red showing some support for my opponent. This Altaria does remind me of the old school Mega. But now Rock Slide will be once again going off. Will it hit both opponents? It will. However, it will not muster enough damage to KO either, so Will-O-the-Wisp will go off, and the Go-Goat now is burned. Now the opponent's Altaria is attempting to Moonblast the Tauros, however I have lost weakness, so it will do very little damage. Now unfortunately for my opponent, the Go-Goat has flinched, and that burn damage will remove it from play. Take care, Go-Goat. So my opponent now will be bringing out their very last Pokemon. What will it be, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it is in fact an Arbok, which does sport Intimidate. This will lower Tauros' attack from a +6 to a +5, which is very annoying, but +5 is still enough to get the job done. So once again I will be lobbing Rock Slide into both opponents, but at this point I will be switching out my Frostlass for my beloved Comfey for some much needed healing on Tauros. And there she is, my beloved Comfey. And so Rock Slide will be going off. That +1 speed, very important. And it has hit both opponents. And this time it will muster enough damage to KO the pair. There goes the Arbok, and next followed is the Fairy type Altaria. This has indeed won me the game. A very big thank you to my opponent. good game. So here is a quick recap of the whole team, and now let us take a look at today's stars. Starting out with Tauros, the cornerstone of this team, he will be sporting Anger Point as his ability, which is the focus of today's strategy. This of course is Paldean Tauros and is the combat breed, and therefore is pure fight typing, and also the move Raging Bull will also reflect this. Terrestrialization is rock for a significant boost to rock slide's output, Tauros' spread move and also move of choice. A defensive EV spread in nature is used here to increase Tauros' longevity and keep him active as long as possible. This is also heightened by holding an assault vest, making his special defense a respectable level. The moves carried are the as per mentioned Raging Bull in rock slide, and also high horsepower and Trailblaze. Trailblaze used early game to boost speed. Next up is Frostlass, our major support for Tauros. Her ability is Curse Body to help disrupt the opponent. Terrestrialization here is unimportant as we will be saving this purely for Tauros. Max EVs have gone into speed and paired with a jolly nature to max out that speed stat, but also help reduce special attack, thus nerfing Frost Breath's damage. Frost Breath used here to attack our own Tauros. 0 IVs into special attack is also recommended for that exact reason. And then finally the remaining EVs have been used to increase Frostlass's bulk. Her held item is a focus slash to prevent one-shotting by powerful moves used by the opponent. And finally up is her moveset, which is Frost Breath to auto-crit Tauros and activate Anger Point, Will-O-the-Wisp to nerf incoming physical attackers, Light Screen to nerf incoming special attacks, and then finally Destiny Bond to just generally mess with the opponent. And here is our final focus, my beloved Comfey in the role as Party Cleric. She'll be sporting Triage as her ability, and her terrestrialization is Fairy for the very unlikely situation where Draining Kiss needs a buff to output. Max EVs have gone into both HP and defense, along with a calm nature to maximize her defenses in bulk. The item of choice is Leftovers for some passive healing, although Mental Hub and Citrus Berry are great choices also. The moveset carried is as follows: Draining Kiss, her priority offensive move, Floral Healing allowing her to function as Party Cleric, Grassy Terrain to help buff Floral Healing, and then finally Synthesis for some priority self-heal. So now we have a better informed view of the Anger Point strategy, let us jump into today's second battle against a slightly tougher opponent, but first a short commercial break.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Jirachi! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us witness today's second battle, where my opponent will be using Fluttermane and an Ogerpon, and of course on my side will be Frostlass and Tauros. And there the Fluttermane has propped her own Protosynthesis, boosting special attack. This has me greatly worried, so I will be terrestrializing straight off the bat with Tauros, and then trailblazing into that Ogerpon. My Frostlass, of course, will be Frost Breathing my own Tauros. This will 100% crit, and therefore proc Tauros' Anger Point. When Anger Point is proc, this will give Tauros +6 attack, which is majestic. So, the terrestrialization of Tauros is going off, and Sonia, who is in the crowd, has stood up to show me some support, us both being Galarians. Thank you very much, my dear. And there the terrestrialization of Tauros has been completed. First, Dazzling Gleam will go off from the Fluttermane, doing a little bit of damage to Tauros, coupled with the damage from Frost Breath. However, this is all worthwhile to give Tauros that majestic +6 attack. But first, Ogerpon will be using Ivory Cudgel, which has critted against Frostlass. This has knocked out Frostlass, however her role has been completed. Next up, Trailblaze will target that Ogerpon, doing a substantial amount of damage, but more importantly raising speed by +1. So next I'm forced to bring out my beloved Comfey, who will be supporting Tauros with some healing. So I will be using Rock Slide into both opponents and using Floral Heal on Tauros. Floral Heal will go off first with +3 priority, putting Tauros back up to full HP. And next will be Moonblast from the Flutter main, targeting my Comfey, doing about 50% damage and lowering special attack. Next up is Rock Slide, which has unfortunately missed the Ogerpon, however has done enough damage to KO straight out the Flutter main. So next, Hornleech will be going off from that Ogerpon, and ladies and gentlemen, that has done huge amounts of damage to Tauros, putting him into critical HP, and also healing a fair amount of HP to itself. And also Comfey there gaining a little bit of passive healing due to leftovers. Next, my opponent will be bringing out Rillaboom, which is actually a blessing in disguise when Tauros' HP is critical, as the grassy terrain will be buffing my Floral Heal, which will go first due to that wonderful +3 priority. Now Rillaboom, who is slower, has used Fake Out, allowing me to get Rock Slide off unhindered. This will in fact hit both Pokemon, taking out the Ogerpon and putting Rillaboom into yellow HP. We will now all gain a small amount of passive healing due to grassy terrain, coupled with Comfey's own leftovers. So now my opponent will be bringing out their final Pokemon. What will it be, ladies and gentlemen? It is in fact Dragonite. Dragonite here has flying as part of its typing, so will not be gaining the benefits of grassy terrain. So I'll once again be Rock Sliding both opponents and Floral Healing into Tauros to top up its HP. But first my opponent will actually be Terrastalizing that Dragonite into normal typing. I suspect Extreme Speed to be coming my way very soon. And there the Terrastalization has been completed. So first in the priority chain is Floral Heal at +3, topping up Tauros' HP. Next at +2 will be Extreme Speed, and that will be targeting my beloved Comfey, dealing enough damage to KO. This has greatly upset both me and Jirachi. Some revenge is needed. Next up at +1 priority is Grassy Glide against Tauros, doing a fair bit of damage, putting Tauros back into worrying HP levels. Tauros following up now with no priority on Rock Slide, however it has hit both Pokemon, knocking out the Rillaboom and putting that Dragonite into critical HP. I very much suspect Multiscale has saved it there, ladies and gentlemen. And now I will be bringing out my final Pokemon, which is in fact Kyogre, who will be bringing a little bit of rain. So now I will be using Raging Bull against that normal type Dragonite, as this is super effective due to the typing of Tauros. And then Kyogre will be using Water Spout. But first Extreme Speed will go off, trying to KO the Tauros and failing, allowing Kyogre to mop up with Water Spout. This has KO'd the Dragonite. However, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to point out that Tauros had that entirely handled without support. But a big thank you to my opponent, GG. So now it is finally time to review the antics witnessed today. Should I try this at home? Will this help me ladder competitively? Well, probably not. The distribution of anger point is very shallow. I have tried both Primeape and Crocodile in this row, but Tauros is by far the most consistent and does have the best defensive stats. However, Tauros does still struggle against a lot of hard-hitting hyper-offense mons, but does have a very versatile move list and options in its own typing. Frostlass, on the other hand, however, is fairly useless beyond the 100% crit and would be a waste of a slot in a competitive team. All this being said, the strat is a lot of fun when it works and is a change from the standard meta. Flinching an opponent that isn't outright KO'd by Rock Slide is joyous. So I'll be rewarding this strategy a silver medal, from the possible rewards of no medal, silver, bronze, gold or platinum. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is all we have time for today. A list of the royalty-free music used in this episode is listed here. If you vibed with any of it, check it out, link in the description. And that's today's strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Paldean Tauros at +6 attack, wreaking havoc on my opponents. So I hope you've all enjoyed our time together today, and a very big thank you to all of my audience. And I would also love it if you would all kindly consider leaving a like and subscribing. Also, any comments and feedback are also welcome, please pop them below. So again, a big thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope you all have a majestic day, and I will catch you all very soon. Take care.